We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
What do you want to do now, Cap?
The same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Hey, what's up, boys and girls? Finally back with another United Resistance. Oh, God, I swear, I haven't had a week where I think I've put together a full streaming week. It seems like in forever. And I do apologize for that, but it's nice to finally have UR going on. I couldn't do it last week, obviously, because, I would have been literally sitting here screaming in pain due to that, wisdom tooth situation I had. So I did the prudent thing and it took the week off. And while it still smarts, it's a lot better than it was. So that is definitely a good thing, because I was not into sitting here, screaming at the top of my lungs. Although that could have been fun.
Dude, you could have made some bank off that live stream.
Right?
Yeah, this is true. I could have put on the SJW phase, and he could have been like Ree. That could have been the new Ree.
You just could have been. You could have been a screaming Wojak.
Yeah, this is true.
It would have worked, man. It would have worked.
So it's good to see everybody. Before I introduce these awesome gentlemen, let's say what's up to the chat. Of course, he's on the panel. Keely's here. What's up, Keely? What's going on, Tina? Great to see you. Always great to see you, Tina. Godzillionaires up in the house. Of course, we have the lovely Sherry. What's up, Sherry? How are you doing, sweetheart? Great to see you. Blue-Eyed Rookery in the base. What up, Tony? He's here. And Phil TMNT, one of the good guys around this fellowship, man. Phil, awesome to see you. Of course, we know who that guy is. Might be our guest of honor.
That's a bit much.
We've got Lasso Truth in the house. What is up, Trina, my sister from another mister? Great to have Trina in the house always. Nelson, the gentleman's up in the house. Great to see you as well. And I think that about covers everybody. And we know that guy too. So let's go and introduce the panel. Of course, we've got the awesome one of the members of the Dix division. You know him so well because he's on the show every Tuesday. And that'd be Mr. Brahma Bull. What's up, Brahma?
Not much. Just got done with work. Had a great yelling at parked cars last night. That stream
Oh,
went
yeah.
fantastic. So
That was
yeah,
awesome.
still carrying over the adrenaline into today, hopefully. So looking forward to talking.
Yeah, and we've got, of course, our friend Steven, aka Free Speech Gaming. What's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Having a pretty good day. I'm enjoying the tides of the culture war sort of starting to turn in our direction with Netflix and Disney losing stock, CNN Plus. I mean, they lasted about as long as a prom night dumpster baby. Things are starting to go in our direction.
Oh, man.
Well,
Nice. And, of course, we've got the People's Champ, Eats Up. What going on, bro? Great to see you.
Glad to have you back, man. Good to see you. You're doing better. You're able to talk this week and not scream. That's a bonus. Yep. You talked about last night. I'm still kind of have that hangover from that was our 200th Monday night episode last night.
Hey,
of
nice
the big show. That goes all the way back to the Anchor podcast. Like I said, sitting here talking into this Galaxy S8 on the casting couch in my office here. That was how it all started. And yeah, so 200 episodes on Monday night later, and here we are. Mama Susan hasn't gave us any big penalties yet, so we keep saying whatever the hell we want and being funny and entertaining, but it wouldn't be possible, would it not be, for Tony, Vinny, Red, Chris, and everybody else that's part of the show too. So thank you to them first and foremost. This chat, the best. I'll save it for about a half hour. And the best chat on YouTube. I censored myself.
You some love.
Thank you, Trina. Yeah, it was. I saw Phil TMNT popped into the chat last night. I think I said hello, but if I didn't, thank you for stopping in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Phil's good people, man.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. And of course, as I said, our guest of honor tonight, that'd be Corey, aka Sir Talks a Lot. You know him as another great member of Dix Division, and yeah, we did have a pretty epic yelling at parked cars last night. It was fun. And I'm glad to have Corey back in the house. I know he was on here like one other time, and I've been trying forever to get him back on, and it worked out today. So he was able to come back on, and the funny thing is, folks, quick inside baseball, we were going to have Jasmine St. Clair back today. And Jasmine texted me, I want to say about 4 o'clock, a few hours back, and she said, "Hey, sweetheart, I can't do it today. Can you go and swap me out for next Tuesday?" So next Tuesday we will be having Jasmine back on. So we're just kind of flip flopping shows that we're going to have her on next Tuesday. So that's cool. But we've got an equally awesome guest in Corey, and I'm super happy about that. And by the way, speaking of Jasmine St. Clair, folks,
that's a tough act to follow, dog. Right there, he's like,
well,
Jasmine St. Clair is supposed to be, you got me.
Well,
Corey's like, look,
well,
I got this. He's like, I got this.
Well,
I'm definitely not as visually appealing. So,
Hail, Chris Fisk. Great to see you, Chris. I haven't talked to you in a minute, man. Good to see you, buddy. And of course, just another red shirt. Great to see you as well, sir. Hail. Speaking of Jasmine, I want to point this out because I got this actually in the mail from her. It's not every day like just Jasmine St. Clair just mails you something, but she did. And there's a lot of people, we've had guests like we've had Laura Jensen on here, we've had Jasmine on here, and yes, Jasmine's former adult film star, former wrestling ballet. You guys remember her from big time in the 90s and late I want to say she started really picking up steam around 88, 89, and then it just her career kept going up. Well, one of the things is there's a lot of people that will sit there and bang that moral high ground drum, and they will make value judgments on women that have had careers either in that industry or have been involved in adult film work, anything of that nature, and they will stigmatize them with that and make that the whole of their assessment of a person. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, this woman made one of the nicest gestures that I can ever have had from anyone. And she sent this beautiful, and I want to make sure that I get it in the camera here, this beautiful, beautiful rosary. It's very detailed. It's really gorgeous. And she sent this to me, and she said, she had a nice note in there that said, I'm so sorry about the loss of mom, and you're on my mind, and I care for you, my friend. And it was just the nicest thing. And that should just tell you right there that what a person's chosen vocation is, what a person does in one phase of their life does not define the whole of that person. Okay. What that person's merits are, the way that they treat you, the way that you treat them, that's the way those are the types of things that a person should be looked at for. And that was a wonderful gesture. That's actually the first thing I've ever received, period, from a guest, from a viewer, where something was actually like mailed to me, and it made me feel awesome, and I'm so thankful to Jasmine for that kind gesture, and it's kind of fortuitous in a way that she's not here, because she'd probably be sitting here turning 5 shades of red, like recognizing her publicly like this. But I do want to say thank you to her for that, and I wanted to make sure that I talked about that at the top of the show before we get into the things that we're going to bring you. And also thank you, boobs, very appropriate. Love some boobs. And boobs tip $2.50. So
especially
that.
when boobs give you money,
Right?
That
It's usually the other way
I know.
around for you, right?
Rare
Yeah.
days.
I see this as an absolute win.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Stephen Walton's in the house. Protect the trees.
Should we start with the short jokes now, or should we wait?
Well, dude, I used to have a collection. I feel like of a bunch of Stevens, because back when I was a kid, I had a collection of Smurfs. So it was
I've got a tin full of them. I still
It's
have. I
nice.
got Gargamel, and I'll go get Steven's cousins. I'm just kidding, Steven. I love you. He's coming on my show tomorrow night, but I got to rip him anyway.
Yeah, hail another monster. Great to see you. Gap Stargate's in the house. What up, Gap? Great to see you, buddy.
Yep.
So we've got a full house up in the chat, man. Much appreciated, guys. And I know Trina put the link out to it, but I know that super chats and everything are available. Actually, I don't know if I
Trina put the
turned
link
on.
out to it,
Oops,
but,
I turned on my YouTube and totally didn't mute it. But the thing is, even though super chats are available, I just want to say, guys, if you really want to help out right now, if anybody wants to, throw anything at the channel, just throw it towards Mom's Memorial Fund. I'm continuing to collect on that, and that's going to be right now where the most help is going to be had. So even if you do want to super chat at the moment, just throw it at Mom's Memorial Fund, because that's where the most good and the most help is going to be done right now, just because of all the stuff that is going on that I'm dealing with, that's in flux. Everything else, that's where it's going to be best used. And again, I thank you for just sharing, even if you can't donate anything to Mom's Fund, just sharing out the fund itself is awesome on everyone's part. So thank you for that.
Yeah, make sure you hit up his Twitter. It's the pinned tweet. You can just retweet it, quote tweet it. You just tell everybody, help out as much as you can. Everything's appreciated. Prayers, money, don't matter.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing about using Gifts on Go, is because you can actually send prayers and intentions with that, and that's what I find is really cool about that site, because it's faith based, and I see why everybody likes it a lot better than GoFundMe, because it really is. It's so much better than GoFundMe, and the way that GoFundMe approaches things. I would be more than happy to see GoFundMe just take a nosedive.
Can we get Elon Musk to buy YouTube and GoFundMe too? Is my question. Because I would really dig that if he would just said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to buy YouTube, just for the hell of it." Like, just said, "Hey Google, here's this. I'm going to take this platform too."
Yeah, exactly. Hail to some of our super fans. Got Dwayne, and also I know also in the house. So it's great to see both Dwayne and Rita. They are big time super fans of the channel, and also Blue Eyed Rip Korean the Based with a $5 super chat saying, "Speaking of witch hunts, that Wapo Taylor Lorenz said the quiet part out loud. Need to ask questions she asked. Accused politicians of being foreign actors." Yeah, and a $4.99 super chat from Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. The collective is watching from the sidelines. Keep up the important conversations. Absolutely, Tommy. DJ Odyssey. Deej is in the house. Great to see Deej. I want to have Deej on one of these streams, by the way, one of these times, to talk politics, man, because Deej is absolutely like red pilled, man, and he's got some good takes. So, all right. Well, speaking of the thing, obviously, first off, we all know Elon bought Twitter. Man, I know we covered it at length on Parked Cars last night, but it's just the crazy stuff continues with that, with just like the meltdown takes and everything else. Rosanna Arquette actually put one out, I want to say about 4 hours ago, 8 hours ago, something like that. And she said, "I'm not into free speech."
She's an idiot.
It's amazing how many of these people aren't into free speech.
Yeah.
Wow. Chris Fisk, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you. $49.99 super chat. That is our super chat record for the channel so far. Did you see that one dude melting down about we can't have one side shut down the opposition's candidate and silence any dissident voices after Elon bought Twitter? Talk about outing yourself. Yeah, and I think you're referencing
we watched that last night.
MSNBC clip.
Yup. Yeah, of all places, MSNBC is bitching about, oh, they're gonna cover up information. What if the New York Post, the New York Times tries to put out an article that's outing?
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I was like, isn't it fitting he works for one of these garbage tier news media outlets that has about as much credibility as The Onion? MSLSD at this point. I just call him MSLSD because you got to be high as shit to believe anything that comes out of any of those fucking retards, Miles. They are the dumbest. Like, how do you employ people that are they're just willingly, oh yeah, they're called useful idiots, right? Propaganda, tools of propaganda, the larger, the cogs in the wheel, the bigger machine. They're garbage. Like, this network is like CNN, yeah, like you talked about CNN Plus tanking. This guy's meltdown, though, it was like the whole time, because somebody posted on Twitter just that piece, and I'm watching it and I'm going, isn't it ironic that this guy works for MSNBC and he's sitting here talking about one side shutting down the conversation? I'm like, wow. Hi, Pot, have you met this kettle? You know, I think you two might want to have a conversation. It's like utterly like, does he not realize what he's saying? I mean, I know he's probably reading the teleprompter, but does he not realize that it's...
Oh yeah, he said it all word for word. He said like the exact thing that they were doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, Stelter melted down this morning too, or maybe it was yesterday morning. But
yeah, I think it was.
Oh, he's about to lose his job.
Yeah.
He's gonna be out peeling his relatives. He'll be out peeling potatoes.
Ram, I'll share that thing you sent. Just a second. Trinoculus sends a really nice comment. Trinoculus P says, praying for your family, Drew. I'd really like to see Elon add video streaming to Twitter and make YouTube obsolete. Yeah, you know, it would be nice, and you never know if they will or they won't. Twitter does have limited video streaming, or they did at one time. I would like to see them personally refine and continue to expand Twitter Spaces, because I will say this: if you guys haven't tried Twitter Spaces yet, it's really awesome. You can open a room on there for yourself, speak on a topic, and you know, you get the opportunity to kind of have your own place to hold court. So I really like the way that Twitter Spaces is. I just think that they need to refine the interface for it just a little bit better, because currently it only works well with a mobile phone. It's not desktop friendly. And hail to you, Cobalt66. Great to see you. He says, please, Etep, don't disparage the Onion by comparing it to the New York Times. Yes.
You're muted.
You're muted, homie.
It was between the Babylon Bee and the Onion. I went with the
Babylon
Onion.
Bee predicts the future, so they're way more accurate than most of
Right.
these retards.
They really are.
They are.
If we can remember back to this classic exchange, I love Twitter. You should buy it then. How much is it? I love it.
yeah,
Because now we know.
this exchange continues to haunt me, Dave Smith.
Yeah.
2017.
But the thing with like these idiots, like you see you know, like Rosanna Arquette today tweeting that she's not into free speech. And then it's funny, the rumored place where some of these people are going because of this. And this is going to make you guys laugh. So some of these people are going over to Getter. Fucking Deborah Messing. Deborah Messing, which that's an eye roll fucking account. You know, remember the stupid shit that Deborah Messing's tweeted in the past. She was one of those that was like, "Oh, I'm quitting Twitter," and she ran over to Getter apparently. And some of these other crazy lefties are going over to Getter. I'm just like, yeah, good luck trying to fucking get some traction on Getter.
Right.
That's awesome. Why don't they just go to Parler?
Yeah.
That would be even better.
That's a great alternative to Twitter. Go check that out. Fuck.
I want to see Rob Reiner go over to Parler.
Oh God, have you guys seen what Sarah Gonzalez has been tweeting? I mean, the stuff she's putting out would get us. We would get the ban hammer on YouTube for saying.
Oh yeah. Oh,
She's
God.
been going crazy all day.
Sarah Gonzalez.
Wait, is she the one hitting him with all the the
All-
stuff you're not supposed to say under
Yeah.
Yep,
the left?
She's the one from Blaze TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, the denying science claims that you'll get if you say.
She's a pretty lady too. She's not
Mhm.
hard on the eyes. Gap Stargate says Twitter did restore the Babylon Bee. Yes, they did.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Tucker.
I
Tucker
don't give a
got
fuck about that.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson got restored. So did oh god, there were a couple other people too. I think Trump.
Yeah, that drunk 3PO fool came back.
Yeah,
Dude. Did you see that?
Drunk 3PO interacting with his own account, which was funny.
Dude, that was nuts. Okay,
Yeah.
he did that for like 4 hours.
Answered
Like,
himself.
I missed
he just
that. I'll
talked
have to go
himself
back and
the whole
look.
time. Like, he would talk to Jeremy in both accounts. He would do, like,
Yeah,
that guy knows how to just fuck around. man.
Trinoculus said Jeremy's original account got
The
restored.
D-Day
His
Cobra.
actual D-Day Cobra? Sweet.
Yeah.
What about Az?
What about
Deej-
Az?
Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody checked if Az's account got restored? His original.
I don't know if he
What was,
really
what was his old
cares.
handle?
Yeah.
Heel versus Babyface.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deej says Michelle Malkin got her account restored, which is good because Michelle Malkin, she's really sharp. I followed Michelle Malkin for a long time. Yeah, so it's just funny the freaking meltdowns that these people are having over this. So I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the stupid shit that I've seen out of them so far. I know the next topic that we were going to get into, and this was one that we didn't get to on yelling at parked cars last night. And, I want to give props, folks, to Brahma Bull because he really did some hard work on, finding stuff about this and everything else. In case anybody didn't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene was going through a trial. It's mainly all this past week, and it's just an absolute witch hunt. But I'm going to turn it over to Brahma and let him talk about our next topic at hand, and then share any relevant things to go off of. So, Brahma, take the floor, sir.
Let me
Do what
get
you
the article shared to you real quick.
Okay.
Believe that's the one. So yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene was testifying in her own trial on Friday last week. So basically what's going on with her is they are trying to disqualify her from being allowed to run in this next election, basing it on her being one of the people that was going to object to the certification of the election, as well as the fact that she had been sworn in like 3 days before that, and they're trying to catch her on things like, well, did you give anybody a tour of the Capitol building? You've used the word 1776 a number of times. Aren't you aware that just sets off anybody on the right? So, I mean, they're determined to railroad her, and I'm fairly certain that what they're trying to do is see if they can get her so that they can then turn around and tell Trump he cannot run, because they'll just have a trial for the same thing if they can nail her on it. So, but so the article basically it's just outlining what happened during her testimony. This is the most neutral one I could find, because all the rest just basically said that she lied and was making up a whole bunch of things about the election and all that kind of stuff. So, so she basically asserted that in her opinion, there was a tremendous amount of fraudulent things that happened, and in her opinion, she wanted to do anything she could to protect election integrity. They went back after her saying, well, didn't you call for people to come to Washington, D.C.? And they literally wouldn't let her answer. I mean, she would sit there and be like, yes, for, peaceful protesting, or for the Trump rally, there were supposed to be about 1 million people there. And they're just going after her, trying to tell her that, no, what you actually said was trying to get people there so that they could, have the January 6th fun. So that's kind of basic breakout of what's been going on with it. So
I mean, it's so asinine. But Brahma, you and I were having a conversation that you thought this was the test bed to then sit there and have this decision if it goes in the people's direction that are trying to execute this witch hunt against her in order to stop President Trump from running again.
Well,
and
Trump and anybody else who is going to object to the election.
yeah,
Cruz, I mean, there were quite a few that were set to try to not certify the election in the legal way, in a way that Democrats have done over and over and over for the past 20, 30 years. This wasn't an unprecedented thing. So it's ridiculous that they're trying to use it as a precedent just because some people got a little bit of it out of hand.
It
And that
also kind
wasn't
of
a call.
It also kind of exposes how, if the left didn't have double standards, they would have no standards at all. Are they going to bring up
Yeah.
Maxine Waters or AOC or Ilhan Omar or any of the squad or Nancy Pelosi for going out and supporting Black Lives Matter while they were out burning entire city blocks to the ground, looting cities, completely destroying the infrastructure and the livelihoods, and even killing upwards of, 42 people died altogether in the mostly peaceful yet fiery riots?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm not advocating violence right now, but I think we should try the French method that, was fairly effective back in the day. Maybe even try some of the Pacific Island methods, sacrifice them to volcanoes, just like
Yeah.
just show them
You
that,
know-
we're kind of sick of their shit, and they'll
Just
burn in the
another-
fiery chasm because of it.
I'm
Just
afraid
another
to-
red-
I'm afraid to know what sort of shit would go into the atmosphere if we did throw someone like Pelosi or Mitt Romney
Oh,
into a
God.
volcano.
Just another
Probably-
red shirt makes a great point. It's a star chamber, and just like the old movie. I mean, he's right. And big thank you to Bloxy for the $5 tip on the Stream Element side.
Boobs and boxy.
Boxy is hiding out somewhere in the bowels of the Galactica.
Well,
So
I would say definitely go watch a few clips from the trial. You'll probably not find anything that is, leaning towards Marjorie Taylor Greene in most sites, but it was interesting to watch just how hard they were going at her. And, they're making up a whole narrative, and the judge is just letting it happen.
yeah, of course. Trina says the volcano would spit them out. And she said, you mean they are going to apply an equal standard to the other side? Yeah, right. Chris Fisk says, remember when the lefties invaded the Supreme Court during the Kavanaugh, hearings? Oh, yeah. It's only an insurrection when their opposition does something similar.
And again, Weather Underground.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Speaking of politics, could Vince Clortho tell me what happened after the rectification of the Boldroni? This is absolute. It's nothing political. This is absolute power and control. There's nothing political about it except one-sidedness. Christmas says Pelosi is basically just a giant Bunsen burner at this point. She'd go up like a Molotov cocktail. Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
You throw any of them in there, there's going to be enough gas released into the atmosphere to maybe change some climate or something.
She'd
Yeah.
go up faster than her stock portfolio.
We could actually create the climate change issue that they continue to espouse. That
You're
is
right.
absolute bullshit.
You're right. We should come up with something more creative, more modern. We should shoot them out
Yeah.
of cannons.
Oh, that'd be good. We could live stream that. You get some
Yep.
major super chats for that one.
And hail to
Hail, sir.
Zach, BK Brightest Day. What's up, BD? Great to see BD in the house. But go ahead, Brahma, continue, because I don't know. I didn't personally see any of the clips of it, but this they didn't have any of the J6 committee people questioning her, did they?
Not that I know of. No, this is an actual Georgia trial.
Okay.
So this is her defense lawyer, and a DA going at it, not a jury trial, just in front of a judge, and they are just trying to rule her ineligible to ever run for office again under, I believe it's the 14th Amendment, which dates back to the Civil War era, basically saying anybody who is an insurrectionist cannot hold office ever again. So, but yeah, they made arguments. The judge is going to give a ruling within another week. He said he was going to try to make it fast. But yeah, there's not much on here we can really read without getting in some trouble. So, but I can go through the article a little bit more. Lawyers in the hearing focused on Green's social media activity, insisting that while she was not personally present at the Capitol and did not urge people inside, her rhetoric played a role in the incident. And that's where they were going with 1776 is a buzzword for everybody on the right.
So are the courts going to decide their own context, kind of like they do in England now? Or are they going to allow her? I mean, they have to allow her to defend her actions and give context to the wording, but yeah, I'm sure she meant show up peacefully.
She tried, but they would bring up people from Proud Boys and a few other organizations and basically say, well, they used the word 1776. And she was like, the Declaration of Independence is, kind of a thing here in this country. So is the Constitution. So using the word 1776 should not be a dog whistle for anybody. We can't speak about our history without it being a call to arms.
It's such a big deal. Stop it.
It's a trigger word, apparently. Trina says, I thought the FBI said there was no insurrection. Yeah, exactly. It's just, this is, again, just lunacy.
I hate the FBI.
We got a $5 super chat from Blue Eyed Rip Korean the Based. He says, Corey, funny you mentioned France. I just started a small business, Blue Eyed Rip Koreans, Guillotines, and Gallows. Think I should start a Teespring.
Absolutely. Yes.
Check out Bunker Branding. You might do better there.
You'll make a killing. It'll be great.
So ultimately, I don't think anything will end up coming out of it. Even if they rule against her, what'll come out of it is horrible precedent. But as far as her seat, it's still in a solidly red zone of Georgia. So chances are whoever is primarying with her is going to win that. But the implications of what goes on after this, if she were to lose this ruling, is where we have issues.
Well, yeah, because they will. I agree with you, Brom. I think that's where they start to use that any ruling from that to throw it into Trump's face or anybody else. Tommy and the Game Pig Collective for $4.99. No, not insurrectionists. They were erectionists. Oh man, nice. Tommy.
And at least I can speculate. I don't know, but I can speculate as to why they're doing all of this. It's because Marjorie Taylor Greene is well known for rocking the boat up in Congress. She calls for them to do a recorded vote, because normally all they do is they essentially vote by proxies. They'll have a couple of people who are at the heads of whatever panel is in charge of this current issue go up, and you'll have basically 3 people from either side actually making the vote. And so it's only 6 people, and that's why they're able to run through so many bills so quickly. But if any of the Congress members call for a recorded vote, that means the person has to drop whatever they're doing and actually go in and vote. It doesn't matter how long it takes for them to get there. It has to be in person. And she started doing that. And I'm happy with that, with her as my representative living in Georgia, because I would much rather the government be less efficient. And I'd rather them take 2 years to put forth a bill that potentially could be beneficial than to ram through 3 bills a week and we don't even know what's in them.
Yeah, it's pork legislation, right?
Well, and make them be accountable for their vote.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only job they actually have, is to cast those votes. They should be on the record as to exactly what they voted. There should be no voice voting. There should be none of that trash.
We do have some comments. Small Time Republic says if she had said the 1619, they would give her a medal. Vinny Art popped in the chat. Great to see our buddy Vinny Tartamello. Awesome to see you, Ben. Deet says, I might be a little drunk from my birthday stream the other night, but I wouldn't kick FTG out of the bed for eating crackers. LOL. And hey, Deej, honestly, I'll tell you what, her and Lauren Boebert, besides being attractive ladies, man, they are trying to hold it down in Congress.
They're firebrands
for liberty, man, and they piss a lot of people off because they stand by their principles.
Well, and if you remember, Tim Pool's, recent situations all started the night after Marjorie Taylor Greene was on his show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Blue-Eyed Rookery in the base. Tony said, nobody talked about this. Apparently in May, the WHO and a bunch of globalists are going to try to strip America of its sovereignty under global pandemic response. Raise awareness, please. Well, I'll be honest with you, Tony. I've seen that coming for a while, just based off of the things that happened when we saw the fall of the other countries based on their pandemic responses and how their governments, just went from democratic to authoritarian in seemingly, 0.6 seconds. And I wanted to get, before you continue the article here, Brahma, I wanted to get ETEP's take on it. ETEP, what do you think of this trial with MTG?
It's y'all said it. It's a witch hunt. This is one-sided. I mean, look, if due process wasn't compromised in this country, I'd be a liar. You know what I mean? And it has been. We all know it. And they just did it with the Supreme Court with Ketanji Brown, I believe that's her name.
Yeah,
she can't define what a woman is.
The non-biologist.
Yeah. My son is 6. He can define what a woman is. I laughed because
if you have that trouble, watch Kindergarten Cop.
Right?
Yeah.
A company is giving menstruating people leave. I'm like, you mean women? Like, let's not play games here. And this,
I thought they were going with bleeders now.
Yeah. I wish Marjorie Taylor Greene could get a fair trial, because I'm sorry that was not an insurrection. There's nothing about that was an insurrection. I mean, we've seen these Democrat senators playing pretend like, oh, AOC, my life was in danger. No, it wasn't. This was as real. I'm sorry that this might sound a little far, but this was as real as the plot to kidnap the governor of my state, Herr Whitmer.
Oh God.
Yeah. Hey, we arrested 20 people, and only 12 of them are FBI agents. So
yeah,
we got these retarded backwoods morons who I'm surprised they know how to. Well, I'm not surprised they know how to load a magazine to a rifle, but to formulate a plan to kidnap a sitting politician is what they're accused of. I wouldn't trust these guys to run a lemonade stand. I mean, just Jesus, like. So this is the clown world that we're living in, and so yeah, this trial is going to be nothing but that. They're going to do everything they can to discredit her, and the end goal is to make it so she can never run for re-election. That's the end game to this. It's just another chip in the armor of our democracy. Jesus Christ, listen to me, republic. Because we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic.
Yes,
and that's the caveat. All these, it's living in a democracy. No, we don't live in a democracy. We don't. This is the people. They don't understand basic fucking civics. But anybody over the age of 18 is allowed to vote. That's the problem. Is I'm not in favor of government control of anything because
and they were trying to push it down to 16. Remember?
Yeah, 16-year-olds are basically fucking walking potatoes. I'm sorry. It's shocking that they're allowed to drive cars, and I say that as somebody at 16. I'd been driving for 2 years already. I grew up in the country, 3 years, on my own. But yeah, this being 18 to vote, no, you should be like a certain IQ level to vote. It's the same way with being able to have children. That's why I'm not even going to get into it, but yeah, breeding. I don't like I said, I don't like control, but if something needs to be regulated, it's reproduction.
Ooh, good comment we got right here, gents. Do you want to go ahead and read that one real quick there, Brahma?
The lead prosecuting attorney on the Marjorie Taylor Greene trial is Mark Elias, who shouldn't be trying cases in court, but should be under indictment by Durham for his role in the Russia hoax.
Right on. That's I mean, it's crazy. Deej says, if a soy boy cuts himself manscaping, would he be considered a menstruating person? Oh God. Oh man, this
Still counts as pussy blood, so I mean,
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
In the words of Vinny imitating Ron Perlman, did he cut his gash?
Right. Hail to Pope Metallicus. I see Pope Metallicus came in here. What's up, dude? But go ahead, continue, Brahma.
Sure, it's just these paragraphs on here, so we'll just bust through it. She was not on the Capitol steps urging the attackers to breach police lines and smash through the doors on January 6th, said attorney Ron Fine. MTG nonetheless played an important role. The Georgia Republican, however, insisted she never advocated for anything violent. I don't support violence of any kind. I've said it over and over again, Greene said. I never mean anything for violence. None of my words ever mean anything for violence. Greene faces re-election in November and is battling formidable Democratic challengers, including Marcus Flowers, whose campaign fundraising outperformed hers in the first quarter of 2022, raising $2.4 million to Greene's $1.1 million. Greene's district is nonetheless staunchly Republican.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that that she loses
a non-fortified election.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly don't think she's gonna lose that.
So this whole thing was just reminding me of if you've seen the movie 12 Angry Men. I mean, part of the film is, certain words can have different context in their meaning, and specifically in that film, they say, they talk about yelling "I'm going to kill you" at someone doesn't automatically mean you want to kill them. But in this, they're taking it so far as to say, saying 1776 is the equivalent of yelling fire in a crowded theater because of the potential response that could happen. But even that, they would have to, it'd be ridiculous to argue that caused a direct action, whereas yelling fire in a crowded theater is going to cause direct action. Right. At best, that would be indirect, but you can't charge people for the actions of others because they heard you say something indirectly.
Or the interpretation of your words.
Yeah.
You're having to get at intent here. Man. And the same thing in the other famous trial going on right now is the interpretation of words. When, they say that Depp said that he cut off his own finger, or I cut off my finger. If you got hit by a car and broke your leg, you're going to say, I broke my leg. You're not going to say the car broke my leg. So it's just colloquialisms, how people talk. And it gets misconstrued and interpreted and twisted around into something that is not what was ever meant.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's one of their favorite things to do, though, is to twist things around and get you to try and look at it from their point of view. And they used to be really fucking good at it. I'm going to say that right now. They used to be great at it. But now, all of these grasping at straws psychopaths, half of them are saying that the insurrection thing didn't happen, and the other half are trying to put people or discredit others based on an insurrection that supposedly happened but didn't happen. But at the same time, it's like a culture casino rant. You're not really sure where it's going to go, but
right.
there's a point in there somewhere. And unfortunately, the point of this is we cannot give up our control, and we cannot allow these people to have legal means of stepping in and stopping us.
Yeah, because
That's all it
ultimately,
is.
what
Neuter
this
the
is
power
doing
base.
is saying we don't care that most of the people in Georgia, or the majority of the people in Georgia, voted this person in. We're going to take that ability away from the people.
Yeah, and then they wonder why we question fucking elections and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. You make it really hard to trust any type of political system, which you never should in the first place. But
we're
you know,
the
these-
autocrats and authoritarians.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's why whenever they call you a fascist, whenever they call you a racist, whenever they call you an incel, a neckbeard, a Trump, it's all, most of that shit is all it's projection. They're projecting everything they internalize that they're afraid to say out loud, and they just push it out at you because you made them look stupid by using facts and logic when they're just reactionary, emotionally stunted idiots. So that's all they know how to do is just redirect from their echo chamber.
I still
Yeah.
blame their parents. I'm just saying.
Oh, their parents probably never should have fucked in the first place. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Man,
Yep.
it just I don't understand how these people can just downright believe all their own bullshit, because it's all, there's none of their platform, none of the modern current progressive democratic platform has any basis in any sort of logic, or, like, I guess, any desire to actually help the country. It's all based on isolation, division. It's terrible. And then of course, like, absolutely just legislating to disintegrate families. That is, I think, the damning thing about all of it. You legislation should be about strengthening families. Ugh.
Yeah, it's
I
the
agree.
cornerstone of the country. I mean, it's been the cornerstone of how things work for all of human existence. So
that's why they want to tear apart the nuclear family. That's why they're so adamantly opposed to the parental rights and education bill. They want kids to what's the best way?
Did you just say gay?
Yeah. I said gazies,
Just a guy.
Oh, that's going to get you lynched in Florida now. Careful, sister.
Whoa.
Well, it's a good thing I like to be choked. Usually have to pay a fetish hooker $500 an hour for that. But, I'm not Bob Crane in a hotel room with Wilford Brimley. No, but seriously, it is. It's why they're so...
oh my.
That's why they're so opposed to that, because it doesn't and they're the same, these are the same educators that are adamantly opposed to cameras in their classrooms. It's like, why if I'm substitute teaching somewhere, if there's a camera in the classroom, I'm gonna feel a lot better, because at the end of the day, when if something happens, it's like, check the tape. Check the tape.
Yep.
And that's why they should have cameras in classrooms. These teachers, especially with these half-head shaved, blue-haired freaks, because they're the ones that they're so damaged. They don't want anybody else to be happy. They don't want to see I don't want to say normal, but like the nuclear family. You know what I mean? I guess fuck it, a normal family. They don't want to see that. They want to see everybody as miserable as them. I'm done ranting.
Done
ranting.
It's a hella good rant, and the thing that pisses me off too is, again, we talk about the people involved in my line of work in journalism and stuff like that, and you see somebody like Taylor Lorenz.
Scheisse.
You see somebody like Taylor Lorenz that goes after
Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok.
Yeah.
And the arguments that she makes are just so disingenuous for her reasoning for going after this woman. And it's all because, oh, I have to make sure that she's not a foreign actor. Are you kidding me right now with that?
I mean, I will say, as far as the Taylor Lorenz thing goes, it's her going after the family members is fucked up. But if she was just going up to the person who is running the Libs of TikTok account, I'll say, even though this person did desire anonymity, it's something that, you know, a lot of people on the right were also praising at the same time when, man, flew right out of my head. Project Veritas was cornering that one chick from the CDC that she had put out false information. And, you know, it's the hilarious video of them chasing her down and her doing the fat run away from her. I mean, we were all cheering that on. And like I said, going after the family members is a different story. But, you know, this is what journalism has been based on for a long time. At the same time, journalistic ethics should also still hold up to the do no harm.
Right.
Directive. That's the first thing that a journalist should go for. And we know that these people on the left don't care about do no harm. They'll harm anyone they can, any way they can, as long as you're ideologically opposed to them.
No, right.
I don't think beneficence is in their wheelhouse whatsoever. They don't have the capacity for it at this point. So,
I mean that's the thing. There is no ethics left. It's all attack, character assassinate. That is the playbook now. It's no ethics involved in that.
It's not even just character assassination. Look at that bullshit during the Summer of Love. How many people people died during the St. Floyd of Fentanyl frickin' riots when the greatest black man who ever lived died because he OD'd on a drug and then another piece of shit finished the job, and both of them are garbage humans. Derek Chauvin and George Floyd were garbage. I'll say it. I don't care. Fuck Derek Chauvin. He's a piece of shit. He is, and the other cops that stood around and watched it are pieces of shit too. But that doesn't mean that you burn down entire city blocks. And who is getting assassinated in the streets during those riots? Trump supporters, targeted on video, nonetheless. But they're the side of peace and tolerance, and the right just sits back every time it goes, bam, it gets punched in the mouth, and they just sit back and be like, you know, you guys can't do, bam, get punched in the mouth. Now listen, bam again. And it's like, when is enough going to be enough? When? Well, you're putting people on. They're holding American citizens in Guantanamo conditions and treating them like foreign enemies. Right? They've been held like animals, political prisoners in their own country without due process over something that's basically a false narrative and being exacerbated into something that it's not, which was a false flag for all intents and purposes. But please tell me again how I'm a bigot because I don't think if you have a dick you should be considered, or you have a dick you're a woman. You know, please, I'm the asshole here out of this whole situation. You know, no, fuck that. We need to take our country back, and we need to do it the right way. And for that to happen, the goddamn Republican Party needs to find their fucking balls and actually be something other than the Washington Generals versus the Harlem fucking Globetrotters.
Well, we need
because
more,
it looks pathetic. It's not a good look.
Marjorie Taylor Greene type of attitudes, dude. That's the thing. Hail to Bashy Washy, and I know that in a second Corey has to take off, or I think right now he has to take off. And
I got bounce.
It sucks because I had a request for you to read.
Let's shoot for next week.
But
I can probably make next week. So
all right, well, yeah, come back next week because we'll have Jasmine on. I can introduce you to Jasmine. That'll be awesome.
Sweet.
Right. So tell them where they can find you. You know, as the Road Warriors used to say, tell them, Hawk.
Hello there. If you'd like to hear the sultry sounds of my lovely voice, then head on over to Sir Talks-A-Lot. It's a fantastic and wonderful place where I do live streams and voiceover comedies, and it's a good time. The most recent voiceover comedy that I did is called Yet Another Meditative Experience.
Did you say
dark
a nut?
A nut. Yeah, sure, why not? Another meditative experience. It's a twisted, dark meditation thing that I did. Everybody seemed to love it, so go check it out. It's Sir Talks-A-Lot on YouTube. And then The Good Voice Guy, on Twitter. Yeah, it's good times. And make sure you're on Gilded.
That's what
Everybody start getting on Gilded.
that's what I realized I needed a meditative nut.
No, dude, you'll enjoy this one then. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
And then
Awesome.
catch me Thursday Night Throwdown on Comics Division's channel.
Yes, there's a rumor that most of us
Indeed.
might be on Thursday Night Throwdown. Yes.
Yeah, it should be a great time. Fantastic. And of course, tonight, make sure probably won't be there tonight, but go check out Nick Weiser's Toxic Tuesday. He's doing Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's gonna be a good time. So I will catch you guys later.
All right, my brother.
That's
Take
it,
care.
man.
of
Nice
yourself.
meeting you, Corey.
You
We'll
too.
see you, Sir Talks a Lot.
Bye, Brahma. I'll hit you up for lunch.
All right.
I gotta dip too. I gotta go over to Tony's. I hate to do it because there's only 4 of us.
Are you going to dip like a tea bag?
I'm gonna dip it. I'm gonna dip it low.
Nice.
Get down, fat kitty. And yeah, here's Fat Boy. He had to make an appearance before I
Wow.
left. My
That's a fat flufers.
That thing's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
he is on the scale of how big is your cat? It's oh good lord, he coming.
Mhm.
He's about 27 pounds. He's a heifer. He's a heavyweight. But yeah, I gotta head over. I'm heading to the Clown World Review. So after Drew streams over, if you want to hear about the Monday Night Wars, come on over and join me, Tony, Draven, Tommy the Guinea Pig Collective, and sometimes Vinny for that. So we start around 8:05 Eastern on the Superstation TBS.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be wrapping about 10 after 8. We got about another. We got one more article to go because Tommy sent over another article, and then you guys could go on over and support those
Yeah.
fine gentlemen while they do the Monday Night Wars.
Yes, and so come on over, and if you want to subscribe to the Place to Be Reviews, come on over. Channel memberships are open. That's what we do. A bunch of 8 live streams a month for members. No, Kitty, this is my pat pie. No, Kitty. But we do 8 live streams a month for channel members, and then we've got the big shows on Monday and Wednesday. Going in Raw next Monday, episode 201 of Going in Raw, and then we have Wednesday Night Live and a Place to Be Reviews, pop-up streams that'll occasionally happen when I go see a movie or we just get the bug and say, hey, we're going to stream. Me and Tony usually show up together. Single release videos. I'm reviewing the entire run of Monday Nitro and all the WCW pay-per-views individually right now. So I just released another one of those. I've released I think 7 or 8 videos in the last 4 days. So I'm rivaling Jeremy from the Quartering here, I think, at points. But yeah, and there's a lot more content on the way too. So come on over, subscribe, and if you join and you're a channel member, I'm mailing you a kazoo with our logo on it, and an official Pete Daddy Dollar IWE trading card for when I wrestled. So yes, channel members, you get. You can use it for target practice, dartboard. I don't give a shit, but you're gonna get a kazoo with my logo on it. So there you go. But thank you, chat, the best chat on YouTube. I appreciate you guys, Steven and Brahma, Drew. It was great seeing you, gentlemen. I'll see you next week.
Reunited and
Hi, bud.
feels so good, BB.
Absolutely, brother. Have a great night, everybody.
All right.
Later.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I love that clip. All right. So I don't even know what to say after that. That's awesome. No, we have one more article ourselves, and then we're gonna do our outros to get on out of here. So I will let Brahma, since he's on a roll, read this because Tommy sent this one over, and I'm gonna go ahead and share it, and then we will have Brahma go ahead and take it away. If you can see that, Mr. Brahma.
You want to blow it up just a little bit? I could see it, but
Okay.
you're fine. Facing bipartisan criticism over its decision to phase out a pandemic-related border expulsion rule known as Title 42, the Biden administration on Tuesday released updated plans describing how U.S. immigration authorities are preparing to deal with a potential spike in migrant arrivals once the Trump-era restrictions are lifted. The 20-page memo, issued by Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, is the most detailed plan the Biden administration has publicly released to outline the government's preparations ahead of the May 23rd termination of Title 42, which has alarmed Republicans and some Democrats. Mayorkas' memo outlined a 6-part strategy: surging personnel and resources to the southern border, expanding migrant processing capacity, detaining or prosecuting some migrants, securing assistance from border organizations, cracking down on human smugglers, and deterring migration across the Western Hemisphere.
And they're doing all of this after they've been letting, record numbers of people just fly across the border. Now they're going to do something about it.
Yeah. Which is basically going back to, all the things we said they shouldn't have stopped.
Yeah.
So one of the plan's key components is the expansion of expedited removal, a fast-track deportation process created in 1996 to deport migrants who do not ask for humanitarian refuge or who fail initial asylum screenings. Officials said asylum seekers fleeing violence will have access to humanitarian protections. The updated Department of Homeland Security plans could alleviate concerns from some Democrats who have implored the administration to develop an adequate border management strategy before ending Title 42. But the preparations could be hindered by a federal court order.
It's, I don't know about the Title 42 thing. Should they get rid of it? Should they not get rid of it? I don't know.
Personally, I think it, since it was, the pandemic-related legislation, I don't think it should be, kept in its form, because we don't need the government being able to pull those levers when we're not in a pandemic. But the things it did probably need to be instituted in another form.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to figure out a way to, at the very least, we should allow states that are on the border the opportunity to secure their own borders. Because right now, Texas has no control over the largest border that they have to any other, singular state. If you were to consider Mexico as a state, they have zero control over it because every 4 years the president changes and they just come in and say, oh no, we want to allow people to come into your economy and wreck everything that you've been building up and completely destroy your voter base. So at the very least, states should be able to say, well, we're going to build our own wall. We're going to have our own checkpoints. We're going to shut shit down without the federal government coming in and meddling with what they can and cannot do.
Yeah, the problem is that is one of the 3 things that the federal government is supposed to do. The border is the federal government's job. It's one of very few things that they're supposed to be doing amongst the hundreds of thousands of things that they're not supposed to be doing that they do every day. If I were Texas, I would build the wall, keep a tab of everything, and then next time we have a Republican president, sue the government for the cost of the wall and get your funding back that way, and then redistribute it back to all the taxpayers in Texas who were forced to pay for it in the first place, because you're never going to get it through the Dems.
Yeah, I feel like this is just too little too late, where Biden is trying to save face by using this. And I don't know that's really, I don't know that that's really necessarily helping, as far as him actually doing something. And I see that we had some arrivals in the chat. So let me just say what's up to the people in the chat that just came in. I see Maria. How are you? Also, Janet from Another Planet's here. Great to see you, Janet. And hail to Rough Girl. Hi, Rough Girl. How are you? Great to see Rough Girl in the house. So the ladies are showing up, repping it. I like it. But yeah, and thank you, by the way, Ensign Ricky for $5 says, Drew, hope you've been good, man. I hope you've been good too, Ensign Ricky. Haven't talked to you in a minute. I hope everything's okay. But yeah, I feel and hail super fan Adam Shawhan. What up, dude? I don't know. I feel like this is just the Biden administration throwing something at the wall and trying to make it look like they're doing something about the border.
This is kind of like common tactics that most, presidents go through, is that typically they run at one of the far ends of the extreme. Whether they're on the Republican Party, they'll usually go for very conservative values when they run. At Democrat Party, they'll go for super progressive values when they run. And then they try to shift toward the center while they're in office before midterms, because you want to rile up your base during the election, but then you want to prepare for midterms and then the upcoming second election by going more toward the middle and hoping you can get the the center rate, the unaligned vote.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Biden administration, I think this is going to be way too little too late. They came in and they made the problem. Everybody knows that they made the problem that they're now offering a solution to. It's somebody kicking you in the knee and then offering you 2 aspirin to make it better. And
isn't that what they always do, though? That's a running theme with the left. It's just they always do that. Nelson Gentleman says sex trafficking will be at an all-time high. I'm sure Biden will be okay with that.
Well, yeah, he'll run out of 8-year-olds to smell otherwise.
After a 2-year ban on Twitter, I've been set free, says Forbidden Ruin. Awesome, dude. But yeah, that's what this is. They constantly make major issues, and then they act like they're the great rescuer by offering a solution. But I think that people are catching on to the game, because guess what? We already figured it out with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and in this case, the Biden administration has nothing to run on for the midterms. You're gonna see them throwing out stuff, see what sticks left and right, just to see if they can get anything to go their way. He's underwater in 40 out of the 50 states right now, like seriously underwater, and that includes both coasts where it's strongholds for them usually. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they're just tossing stuff out, or even just tossing stuff out into the media to see how it plays, just to see, can we get any momentum going? Because right now it's going to be a bloodbath.
And that might also be a response to didn't the gerrymandering maps that they just put out, didn't those just get shot down?
Haven't seen anything on it.
Yeah, they were trying to completely redistrict everything to where it would give pretty much every state a significant blue lean. And I mean, Republicans are already running on a deficit as it is in the Electoral College. But yeah, they were trying to redistrict hard to fuck over Republicans, and it got shot down.
Yeah, federal court already extended Title 42, said Tony. Let's see. Tehillim says Biden will sell his used adult diapers for the win. Yeah. And so Ricky says, we had a family friend die because of fentanyl. They spiked his drugs with it. This is in Chicago. This is how far it has traveled from the border already. This is probably the worst problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fentanyl shit is way out of hand. I mean, I can see it firsthand, folks. It's here in Ohio. Okay. It's up here in the Great Lakes states. All right. we've got a problem with fentanyl from here to Michigan, Indiana, everything that is along, that I-90 corridor as you go. There's a lot of fentanyl flowing in those states. So that to tell you how far up from the border it's gone.
Yeah, I'm actually curious because my hometown, they have a really bad heroin problem up there. Like probably a dozen people that I like personally knew that I went to school with have OD'd since we got out of high school and died. I'm curious because I don't really keep up with people from back there very well. So I'm curious how many of those people are dropping from it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. TZ Burton says, New York State, gerrymandered New York. Republicans have 3 districts. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Chris Fisk says, who are we kidding? The 2020 election showed us that these monsters will win regardless of what actual votes are. Look at what just happened in France. Right. Because how Macron got back in is absolutely puzzling. Forbidden Ruin says, when I was in Tennessee, the county I was in had a terrible pill and meth problem. Yeah, it's absolutely. And the heroin especially is out of hand, but it keeps getting deadlier and it keeps getting crazier, and nobody seems to do anything about it. Rita says, that's just it. They have created so many problems that they can't pick any one issue to run on to stand out in any significant way. And heroin
they're doing what they ran on.
Yeah, heroin
And
is a
that's
huge
the
problem in
problem.
central Iowa. Yep. Ricky, you're right about that. That's the same thing. If you were to buy street weed here, for example, in Ohio, in my city, the odds are that it would be spiked with something. So that's just how it is if you try to buy street weed here. And Gap Stargate, take care of yourself. We love you, buddy. Thank you for popping by.
Man, that's ridiculous. Weed used to be one of the, I mean, really, realistically, people probably shouldn't do drugs, but also realistically, people are going to. And weed used to be one of the safer ones you could more reliably trust you're not going to get fucked up with, and you had to be a bit more careful. If you were going to want to do hallucinogens or something like that, you had to be a little bit more careful and buy from someone who's reputable, so you're not going to get something bad and have a really bad experience.
The reputable drug dealer.
It is a contradiction in terms, but it is a thing. You got to know the guy, trust him, and be like, have you tried this batch? And they'll be like, oh yeah, man, it was crazy. And then don't do drugs, kids.
I get what you're saying. It's just funny.
Exactly.
Yeah, but weed used to be safe, but not anymore. You got to worry about, and you have to worry about ODing on it. Like, holy shit. Are they going to start passing out Narcan in fucking high schools?
Yep. And
they already pass out everything else in high schools.
Yeah. Shellback's right. More people are turning to growing your own. There's a lot of people that have home hydroponics now that are growing their own.
Well, you got to be really careful with that in states where it's still not legalized or decriminalized, because I get caught with a dime bag here where I live, and they're gonna literally take it, write me a ticket, and send me on my way. I'm just gonna have to call up the court and pay a fine. It's not a big deal anymore. But if you have a plant, they're going to weigh the plant. And if it goes beyond an ounce, which, I mean, if it's a successful plant, they're not going to pick off all the buds and dry it and see what the weight would be. That plant's going to weigh more than an ounce, and immediately you get federal charges for it.
All right. Tony said my uncle died about a year ago due to fentanyl-laced coke. He was depressed after losing his house when COVID hit. Yeah, and that's the thing. It ain't like the 80s, man. You wanted pure shit, you got pure shit most times. Now, this is not that. We're a long way from normal life, because we had our run back in the 80s and 90s, and then pretty much everything went off the rails and went to shit. which is why we're at where we're at. But it's 8:07. I know I was going to go till about 10 after, so we're going to go ahead and go around the panel, let these guys do their outros, and then I'm going to do mine, and I'm going to get out of here. But I want to thank all of you, the best chat on YouTube, for coming out tonight and checking us out. Don't forget, next week, Jasmine St. Clair returns. You aren't going to want to miss that. And we're going to have a good time, I'm sure, talking with her about whatever next week's topic is. But yeah, this show today was fire. And I want to give props to all the panelists that were here, because everybody kicked ass. Corey and Etep, and of course, Brahma and Steven. And we will start with Mr. Brahma Bull and let him tell all of you guys all about
what go check out the channel. Just hit 100 subscribers last week, so now I've got the nice simple URL, Brahma Bull. You can catch me on Yelling at Parked Cars. You can catch me here on Tuesdays, of course. Tomorrow I will be on The Dump with Sporking, and Thursday on Thursday Night Throwdown. So check all those out. We have a great time. Last night was a great stream, so go catch that one if you missed it. But thank you for having me on, Drew. Good to see you, Steven. Thanks to the rest of the panelists that already took off. And chat, you guys have been great as usual. I'm going to go watch my 7th grader do her choir recital now. So, fun evening.
Yeah, and hail to our boy, Release McCracken. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Hashtag hail the Dix Division. All right. Move on over to Steven, a.k.a. Free Speech Gaming. What's up?
Yeah, everybody had another great Tuesday. I saw everybody in the chat was having a good time. A lot of conversations going on. People giving me shit for using the term safe drugs. Yeah, I deserve that. You can catch me Monday nights, 7 o'clock. I do a gaming stream. It's just whatever game I feel like playing that day. This Monday was Witcher 3, and it was really choppy, so I'm probably not doing that again unless I can get that worked out. Might go with some more old school games, some Super Nintendo, or some old PC games instead. After that, typically you can find me also Mondays right after that, 8:30 at Shellback TJC's channel doing the warm-up for Yelling at Parked Cars. And then you can always find me here on Tuesdays. Everybody in the chat, have a wonderful rest of your week. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
All righty. And listen, folks, I'm really, before we get on out of here, I do want to go ahead and share this. This, of course, is Mom's Gifts and Go. And, as I talk about it, I'm sure that, Free Speech will drop the link in the chat. But right now we are at the $3,370 mark. Obviously we don't have enough to pay for Mom's funeral yet or anything else, but just trying to right now, as it stands, I'm transparent with you about everything. I'm real with you about everything. Right now I'm just trying to, I've just made it through this past month. I'm trying to make it through this next month, and hopefully along the way, as I said, we can raise enough to pay Mom's funeral. And then, of course, when we get past those two things, we will get into the phase of getting what we need together to handle the probate. But I really do want to reach goal. I want to get to the 20K. We've got 17K to go roughly. If we can make it there, that's a huge deal. I know right now I am kind of sweating out making it through this next month. If we can, and that's why I said at the top of the show, if we can kind of, even though that folks want a super chat, if you could just throw down something, whether it is just a prayer, whether it's a share, or even if you give to the campaign, every little bit helps. But the most good will be done right now. Just putting all of our collective, gumption behind the campaign, because this this right now is a priority. Under normal circumstances, I'd be all like, hey, Team Super Chat. But, right now, this is the major thing. So, we're going to keep on hoping that this gets to the finish line. I appreciate you guys even sharing it out, as I said, and all of you that are praying and doing the things that you're doing. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, you guys are indeed the best chat on YouTube. This community is amazing. So thank you again so much for supporting all of our channels and watching the shows that we're on. And I'm so glad that I could sit here and have frank conversations about what's going on in the world with you, and perhaps bring some truth or shed some light on subjects that need to be shed light on. Because I'm not going to run away, and I'm not going to shy away from these topics. YouTube's going to try, and they're going to come after me, and they're going to pull shenanigans, but I'm not going to run away. So I want you guys to know that. You have my promise on that. I will always stay on the front lines of this information war, no matter what. But I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we will most definitely see you next week. Don't forget, we will have Jasmine St. Clair here, so that's going to be fun. That'll be awesome. And we'll see you.
Night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm E. Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Vinny.
The voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear. What's going on, Tommy? You get anybody to like that?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tone Death, rockin'.
We have a lot of cool things over there. I did some magic tricks.
Hi, guys. Try to stay here.
My name is Marky Knight.